Imagine the cold. Not the cold of a winter's day, but the cold of steel, of rot, and of total indifference. That is the cold where my story began. Not in a soft blanket or in the loving arms of a mother, but amidst the garbage, in a stinking dumpster in a dark alley. I was often told I was worthless. For a long time, I believed them. But today, at 25 years old, I'm going to tell you how that abandoned baby, that boy who wasn't even supposed to survive the night, became a billionaire. This isn't just a success story. This is a story of scars, of resilience, and of the light that can be born even in the most absolute darkness. It was a freezing November night. A baby was crying, not in a sterile room, but amidst tin cans and torn trash bags. A garbage man named Leo heard a different sound. It wasn't the cry of a cat, it was more desperate. Digging with his strong hands, he found a newborn wrapped in a thin old coat, barely alive. Leo was not a rich man. He lived in a small apartment alone, but he had a heart bigger than any fortune. He took me home, warmed me up, fed me with a bottle, and called social services. But his heart had already grown attached. And against all odds, after months of procedures, Leo, the garbage man with a giant heart, became my father. He gave me a name, Ethan. Ethan Hope. Hope for a reason. He would always say, "Ethan, you arrived in the trash, but you are not trash. You are a treasure I found. Never forget that." We didn't have money. We bought our clothes in thrift stores and fixed our old furniture ourselves. But we were rich in another way. My father taught me the value of things. He would show me a broken object and say, "Look, Ethan, others see garbage, but you have to see the parts, the potential. What can we make new from it?" We spent our weekends in scrapyards looking for things to fix and sell. Old radios, bikes, furniture. I learned to solder, to sand, to paint, and most importantly, to negotiate. By age 10, I was running a small stall at the flea market. It wasn't for pocket money, it was a lesson in survival. But at school, it was hard. Ethan the trash. That's what they called me. The other kids said I smelled bad, that my clothes were old. The words hurt as much as the cold of that first night. Sometimes I would come home crying. My father would hold me and say, "Don't listen to them. They only see the wrapping. They don't see the rough diamond inside. Work hard, be smarter, and one day you will show them." That spark came when I was 16. My father fell gravely ill. The doctors talked about an expensive operation that our insurance wouldn't fully cover. The fear I felt was worse than all the mockery. The fear of losing the only person who had ever loved me. The scrapyard had become my university. I knew every corner. One day, I found a broken old laptop. Out of curiosity, I spent nights watching online tutorials to repair it. I got it working, and on that computer, I discovered a new world, the world of programming. While my father slept in the hospital, I sat by his bedside with my laptop. I learned to code. I had an idea. What if I created a platform to connect people who wanted to throw things away with those, like me and my father, who wanted to repair them? An app that would geolocate discarded treasures with tutorials on how to fix them. I called it ReBorn. I worked day and night. I presented it at a local startup competition, not to win, but to try and save my father. I won first prize, $10,000, and something more precious, the attention of an investor who saw the potential. With that money, I could pay for part of my father's operation, and with the investment, I launched ReBorn for real. The idea was simple, brilliant, and ethical. At a time when everyone was talking about ecology, ReBorn was the perfect solution. The app went viral. We grew at a crazy speed. By 20, ReBorn was worth $50 million. By 22, we went public. By 25, the value of my share in the company surpassed $1 billion. I was rich, very rich. I bought a big house from my father. I took him traveling all over the world. He was so proud. But despite the success, the press articles, the money, the scar was still there. That little voice that whispered, "You come from a trash can. You don't belong." I knew what I had to do. Money wasn't the end goal. It was a tool to heal wounds, not just my own. I created the Hope Foundation. We built centers for abandoned children, but not sad orphanages, warm homes with trained educators, psychologists, and programs to discover each child's talents, whether they were manual, artistic, or intellectual. We also launched scholarship programs for kids from low-income families, inspired by my father's lessons. And we expanded ReBorn worldwide, creating jobs and promoting a circular economy. A journalist once asked me, "Mr. Hope, what is the strongest feeling for you? Becoming a billionaire?" I looked out my office window towards the park where children were playing. I replied, "No. The strongest feeling is warmth. The warmth of my father's hand when he held me against his chest for the first time. The warmth of a home, even a modest one. The warmth of knowing you've changed someone's life. The money, that's just a number on a screen. The true wealth is turning your trash into treasure, your failures into lessons, your pain into purpose." I was thrown away like I was nothing. But one person, just one, saw infinite value in me. And that belief changed everything. It doesn't matter where you start. It doesn't matter what labels they stick on you. Your past does not define you. It's what you decide to do with it that writes your future. You all have a rough diamond inside of you. Work on it, believe in it, and one day you will shine so brightly you'll light the path for others. Thank you for listening. Take care of yourselves, and never forget your worth.